Okay, so somebody's asking about the demo account. So I'm gonna crank this account right now really hard, and then I'm gonna publish it, and then you can look at that. But this isn't really how I trade the market because I ran some Nasdaqs on here earlier. See this, and there was some other ones here. So this is a I think this is a 100 pip grid. Right. So here's this is $10 here, and this is 100 from here to here. So $100, you know. That's a 5-minute chart. That's $100. So you got to think in terms of if you're going to buy this slot, this lonely wick idea, you know, not like it doesn't exist. So if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get crushed out of this one. If you bought this one, take some heat. So here you can price what it's going to cost you for this style of trading. So if you get a chance to listen to the Market Wizard guy, it just comes down to what style of trader you are. Are you a swing trader, a reversal, or are you a trend trader? You trade breakouts. One guy's describing who just takes these counter trend moves and then it gets out, you know. So it takes a different mentality to ride the market. So you could just trade this wick all day long, right? You could just put your orders up in here, and as soon as the market came back to here, or even to this top, so you sell it back there and you scalp out here, and that's your whole trade. Another 10 pip pocket trade, so to speak, is this one up here. You got filled, and your target's going to be somewhere here and below. You know, typically, right? And so you've got the this is just so wacky, you know, this kind of trendless insanity. Either way here, the counter trend traders and the trend traders, so to speak, if you think it's going up. So here's the perplexing thing is that you think it's going up, right? You make this argument. Now you look for pullbacks. Well, here's a juicy, but so deep, you know? What a monster, right? He survived that. So this is about 100. That's about a $400. If you scaled in, and that's going to cost you $500, but you make about a couple. If you let it play out until it takes out the high of the day up in here. So this is that Friday wackadoodle thing, right? Pull back. Monday, Tuesday, here comes Wednesday. Right? So here we are in Wednesdayville. It's coming into Wednesday. I kick up a little bit. But there's always going to be a black swan. There's always going to be a rogue wick. Like, there's always going to be... I mean, out of nowhere. Look at this one. Spikes up. Kind of hard to see it. Change the color. I get a little bit lighter background here so we can kind of see the contrast to the wick. It's all about the wick for the wick trader. Okay, contrast there. Trying to look for these little, I guess they're called order blocks. So they're all over the place. All these little nooks and crannies. Like here's one, just top tick that wick. That comes flying down, you know. There's a million of them. Like if you could afford to buy this 20 pip window, you could have scalped that whole pocket. Like here you'd be long right now. If you could buy that bid, you'd be long right here. Right, the 10-year line there. Let's see. So I'm buying the pound. So the idea behind the pound here in these two pockets is that I put limits down here that lasted 8 hours, and I pulled the trigger at the market when we came swooping in there because I really want to power into the account. So I'm using $1,500 of margin now. We should be a little bit higher balance, but well, we got trapped in a couple of was experimenting with some 15-minute scripts inside of here, and then the market was closed. But actually, I think I'm in gold in the background of this whole thing. I went long gold on limits, and I went long at the market. So the gold's coming into this amazing window, and I got limits in here. And I don't think it's going to cost me that much. It's using a lot of margin, but it's not really. I'm not really underwater dollar-wise. I'm just eating up margin. Like, look at this. I'm only down like, well, I don't know, $20, $30 in this trade. Pretty amazing. But I'm just doing it for fun. You know, this gold trade. I thought, well, I'll buy at the market, and it's probably going to tank some more. These are hard. These last forever until the account blows up or I delete these orders. They're just sitting there. I just hand play stuff. Just right mouse click. I put one down here for God's sakes. All those prices are good all the way down. I figure on gold. But it's been a real serious. The dollar is actually taken out. Look at this dollar yen. So it blew through my tickets here, selling in new highs, but it's on a rampage. I mean, the dollar, certainly ultimate reversal point. I don't know if we'll ever make it into this cleft up here, but if, you know, that's going to be obvious. That'll be a guaranteed sell insanity. But I would be this. I would go underwater right now for 100 pips underwater now, selling into this window. So that's the only problem with trading is that sometimes these are giant dollar risk, for a swing trader. So if we choose to go underwater on a swing trade, these big trades like this, a little different than scalping. Plus, you don't have to worry too much. Now, kind of scalp this. We could have scalped this here for. Let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, so here's the obvious supply zone, but there was one before that if you're aggressive like me, you probably bought this one, so you're already in. And now I could do the momentum thing where every time it's down, I'm gonna pull the trigger. And so here's obvious. This is like a hammer. If you put these two bars together, you get a 30-minute hammer, right? Almost, not quite. You get a 5-minute. So anyways, here's the 5-minute view. Supply zones here. See, the crush is pretty dramatic because it's taking this pocket out, which you can't really see on the 15. Okay, now we're going to do a little march north. Okay. So I'm riding this thing for at least 100 pips into the end of the week. And that's how you'd make them flip the account here. So now I feel like cashing. I should have cashed out here. If I was looking at the 5-minute structures, this is the seller's window. You just came back to this pivot on close, and you just kind of swooped down a little. It's such a dramatic. This is a real powerful, like 7-minute move. That's another thing. So depending on what your dollar risk is, your appetite for dollar risk, I guess you call it. Because that's flying back right now, so I could cash out. And then, but if I'm a long-term trader, I'm not. I'm going to actually buy more, so I would come in like this. Depends who you are. Like here, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm already in. Let me buy more if it tanks, and then I buy all night long if it tanks down here like this. See? That kind of mentality. So it's a mindset there, and in the big picture, I guess my view of that is like I'm buying anyway, so it's tanking. Let's see. Let's clean it up and see where that's. It looks like gold, for God's sakes, just getting hammered. Oh, here's the weekly. Look at this brutality on the weekly. So the big boys would be buying them pullback, right? We changed time frame, man. Oof. what a different world. So definitely a big, this is that big climax. I'm sure everybody remembers this move. So if you're trying to sell into this move, it's pretty brutal, right? This is back, let me zoom out. So here, this tippity top here, this is psychosis. This is about 150 pip distribution phase here. It'll light you up. And that was engulfed all the way back, and here was your first place to get in for the Bounce-A-Rama. And these are just shelves. This I'm not people always accuse you of saying, oh, hindsight's 2020. Yeah, I know. Well, this is how you know how to put the next trade on, see? You can buy down here, right? I mean, it's just obvious. So you're buying, what's the trade now, you know? And now you are. Okay, so if you're going to do this fractal, and you're not always going to get these deep fractals, so this, you're also not going to get this. I mean, this stuff's constantly changing. Like, you're never going to see that again with that wick and the double top on that time frame ever again. It's like snowflakes. This shit's like snowflakes. So what you can do is go to the half hour and look for trades, you know. There's more nooks and crannies. There's more vacuums on the half hour chart. This is where you got to hustle. I'm going to buy at the market right now. Those are my targets, those black lines. I'm getting, all these are limit entries. All right, let me zoom in one notch. There you go. So here's the half hour story, and here's the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is just shearing down into the supply zone, which is just nothing more than old lows. And there's two banks. This one, and this is the older low, and the more meaningful one. You put more tickets in there. For my system, you know, you can do whatever you want, man, but I'm trading this system. So here's your trap, your high probability sell windows. I'm going for this. Now this is a deeper one and more costly. For the aggressive trader, they probably sold that lonely wick and they finally made money, right? So they sell all the way into that. So if you have a lot of money, you lay all those tickets in, like banks of tickets, and then you ride that. And that's the trade. So right now, you would ride this until it blows out that top. I mean, for the heavy hitters are going to wait for it to come up to here, and then they're going to cash out. That's going to be 40 pips on the pound. And the euro, it's going to be, so here's a daily euro. That one's going to cost you. So we're looking to make 100 pips here. I'm buying this trap. I actually getting right on the Williams fractal there, see? I'm just loading up here like psychotically with my money and the demo money into the Wednesday, because we just took out yesterday's low by this much. That's right. We just took out that fractal there by just this much. It's all it took to tip the scale. Now we're under that floor right now. The breakout traders assume for them to win, it has to go down. From this far down, they're selling into that low. So if you would have sold into this low, you'd have to endure that pullback, and on and on. But how far can it make it? Right, how far can we get? Right. Like here's a beautiful trap. So the Williams fractal even gets that one right. You put your sell limits here. Fractal says put your sell limit here. This is reverse fading the fractals. Here you sell and you get clobbered, right? Here you put a sell limit, you never get filled, never get filled, never get filled. Here you get filled nicely. And then it rips back up. Yeah, you get filled on this one, sell limit. I meant on the way down you didn't get filled. Like there wasn't a chance to get to sell that. Like make money from that trade. Yeah, that's what I meant. I know, so it's hard to describe what the trade plan is here because, like, so as this is tanking, I don't get the bonus of selling here, right? Unless I put my sell limits in this pocket. So you gotta, the supply zone's constantly trailing like this. Bop, you sell. You know, just like, and then here, when it comes shearing up, I mean, there's this huge vacuum here, and sure you could have sold that, but then boom, and that's London open, probably London open there. Rip it up, and then just so many different, like here, if you start buying below here, yeah, you're gonna get crushed, but you had to know this was a giant hole, just like this hole. If you decide to start selling, there's still so much left. You got to be buying here and scalping to there, like most people did, the winners. Okay, let's just try to make a few pips here. Go for the big targets. All right, so we got some monster targets in here. We're just going to wait it out now. We'll publish the results in the morning. But I don't know what you can glean from all that. You know, it's a style of trading, I suppose. What style? They'll make money if you actually trade them. You know, if you keep up on this stuff. But that's just the way I see it without indicators. Let's try to simplify my approach and just get it down to the auction entries. Time of day, new lows, new highs, especially when they just take it down just a little bit lower. The pound never took out yesterday's low. Never got this, but got this beautiful pullback. It looks like a drift up tonight. I can cash this out right now. Like I said, depends what your time horizon is for exit. And look at the 4 hours. So the 4 hours a hold. You're holding this on the 4 hour, right? And this is like obviously a. We could see this by the end of the week. This price easily. That's not too outrageous. That's not too greedy. So yeah, I mean, I could take this account up to $8,000, publish it, and go there. I made $8,000. I made $5,000, $3,000 in 2 days. Right, I opened this account yesterday, I think. We started this account with $5,000, and I'm taking it up to, some trying to get it, trying to really power into it here at this time of night. Europe's going to open, get a rally, then get a nice rally, cash out, come back in, or just let it keep going. It's going to automatically cash out though. I'm in $1,500 of margin now, and a lot of this stuff's about to cash out. All right, so here's, well, the gold one, I don't have any targets for that, so that's not really going to happen. But this is about to, right, this thing's about to get out. I can't remember. Let's see what kind of ticket that was. I should say market order. So these are market orders. I just kept pulling the trigger. Bing, 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 bing. And this is just like the next ticket to get out. So these are all market orders. There should be a few limits in here. So the limit trades are typically the winning trades. Let's just get out of this gold trade so it can make me crazy. That's another thing, it's hard to commingle this shit. So get rid of this gold trade. Then we just look at the entry technique. So here is the winning trades are limits. See, all winning trades are typically limits because you've gotten like the best price. Occasionally you see some market orders, but it's funny. See, here's a limit that's about to cash out. So you can look at this kind of situation. Here's one that's about to cash out too. A limit on the pound up 80 cents. Oh, this market order is winning. But here's a commingling. Comes in pretty good. I mean, my market order is pretty good because I just nailed it. But the dollar-wise, it loaded up on that. But typically, if you don't, of course, if you don't have any market orders, then it's always going to be those limit orders and winning orders. All right, so whether we make $3,000 or not, I guess it's how do you make the $3,000? And for me, I'm doing this limits, few market orders. Here's my trap. I want to buy. So in a top bottom world, you see how that overshot? I guess I could make it a better. I could force it by going. If I go to the 15, we can see this lonely wick here. So whatever you could tolerate, 15 is not a bad time frame. So you really can't see that on the 1 hour chart, Well, the 1 hour chart, it's actually the wicks. Right? It translates to this spot here. So it's the premium wick entry. But closing wise, it's just not a perfect top bottom, but that's okay. I wouldn't not take the trade because of that. So that's that. We'll see what happens.